Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the St. Louis podcast. I'm your glorious host today, Eric Brown, president of Vi Media and partner at Mogul Holdings. Today, we have Bailey and Holly of Dirty Pop St. Louis on the podcast, and we're going to get into the weeds with them and their business. As always, this is the St. Louis podcast each and every Friday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. We drop an episode on all major podcasting, audio, and video platforms. You know what it is. We're here for it. How are you guys doing today? Thank you for joining.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. We're good. We're excited.
I'm glad. We're gonna get into some good conversation today. I always like talking to newer business owners right when they're starting and figuring out some of the struggles and problems you guys went through, what you did from a planning perspective, because a lot of people do the first part, which is what you guys were doing, planning, but they never actually launch it and take that step. So literally the most important step to starting a business is, of course, to actually start it and not just talk about it. We've talked about that on this podcast multiple times. So once again, Bailey and Holly, thank you. Dirty Pop STL, women-owned dirty soda, elevated sips, and loaded popcorn company, mobile soda bar. They are soon to have, you guys said, the food truck shortly.
Yep.
How soon is that coming?
I want to say in the next month.
I would
Okay.
say our goal is by May, like the first beginning of May.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
I always have heard that building the food truck is, you'd think it's easy. It's like, you have a shell and then you're like, I need these, 20 pieces of equipment. And then it takes 5 months to build out. It's like, I never understood the process. It always seems like a pain.
It's a
Every time I
task.
talk about it.
Well, thankfully, her husband is like a handyman and knows how to do all of that.
Okay.
So he's our designated contractor.
Got it.
And he's a busybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so she'll text me and be like, hey, the flooring's done. Hey, the walls are done. And he came in one day and was like, order the awning, order your concession window, and I'll have it in. And literally got delivered. And Hallie's like, hey, they have it installed. So he moves quick.
He's
so we're
fast.
very, very blessed to have like an in-house
Yep.
contractor,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yep.
It's been great.
Yeah, I've talked to multiple companies when I'm talking about marketing and every single time it's like, I have the one food truck and this other one's taking, I've heard year plus to build these things.
Sure.
And I'm like, get a house built faster than that.
Not to mention everything in there is just so expensive. So the
Yep.
upfront cost is crazy.
And we're grateful. Like our business, we don't require like stoves or ovens or really that more expensive kitchen equipment. Ours is that basic. Like we really just needed to have our sink system and
Yep.
we have like our popcorn and stuff. So it's a little simpler. So for most people, I'm sure when you're doing like all of the electric and that side of it, I'm sure there's way more with gas and all the things you have to do. So that probably takes a lot longer. I think we kind of are really grateful that we chose what we chose
Yeah.
because it took a lot of time and money off of our like overall expenses, I would say.
Yeah. Food trucks are awesome because it gives a good opportunity to get into the business and not have to put so much money into an actual
Exactly.
location. The food truck industry in St. Louis is interesting because we have a lot of different areas where you can just pull up to. Like I know, what's the one there's one in South County?
Yeah, mile.
Yeah.
9
Mile.
9 Mile, the Brew Garden, and then
Yes.
Cottleville.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
Frankie
Frankie
Martin's.
Martin's.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good opportunity for people to do so.
Exactly.
Just have a good product, right?
1000%.
That's the main thing is you need to have a good product. So talking about the product, dirty soda. So you asked me, have you heard? You're good. Have you heard dirty soda? And I was like, I don't, maybe, but then I told you I don't really drink soda. So
Right.
is dirty soda, is this like a thing from the West? Are we talking this California thing or what? Yes, sort of.
More like what? Utah.
So-
Utah, okay.
I'm sure a lot of girls have seen it.
Mhm.
There's a new show that came out on Hulu, and it was about the Mormon wife, the secret life of Mormon wives.
Yeah.
And since they don't drink alcohol, soda is so big. And
Interesting.
they have this place called Swig, and it pretty much is where they go all the time. And they kept showing soda, and they were putting all of this stuff in it. And then on TikTok, it blew up. Like it went viral, and
Yeah.
people were putting all of this stuff and trying recipes. And there is not one brick and mortar dirty soda company in St. Louis, not one. And there's not a single like food truck that offers snacks and dirty sodas. And so we were like, it's going viral. There's an opening here.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
we either jump now and do it first or, we're going to get beat to it. So we decided to go for it. But it started out there, and then it kind of is coming here slowly, which is really cool because the non-alc industry is growing, and
Hmm.
so also being able to offer that service was huge. So really, it's not a
Yeah, I heard
Midwest
all the kids
thing.
just smoke weed and do shrooms at parties now.
Literally, I feel so disconnected from that age group, but I'm
Yes,
sure that's what the
me
kids are
too.
doing. I'm sure. I'm like, if
Sounds
drinking's
like a
not
boring
cool,
party. I don't know.
right? I'm like, if you're not gonna drink, can you at least drink our stuff then?
Right.
Like,
That's right.
keeps you hydrated
Here's
during
some
all of
dirt. Yeah,
that.
here's some dirty soda. Yeah. So okay, interesting. Yeah, Mormons, they're an interesting bunch. I just sometimes see the BYU people asking questions of the
Yes.
students, and I'm like, that's not what Mizzou is like by any means, but
That's
okay.
Oh my gosh, my husband
They
said
were
that.
talking about derping or something. I don't know.
I don't
It
even know
doesn't
what
matter.
all of the terms were, but there are
Yeah.
some terms that we were like, I was looking up online with my husband one time because they were saying it, and I was like, what does that even mean? And I was like, oh my gosh, like I had to Google it. Like I wouldn't have ever just known. It's wild,
It's like getting around like a legal loophole. It's like,
pretty much.
well, if I do specifically this, I'm like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Anyways, doesn't matter. So okay, so you have the dirty soda, loaded popcorn. How'd you guys decide to pick the snack that goes with this?
So I previously in a business I had prior, I offered popcorn. One, we love popcorn.
Yeah.
I've always loved it.
Favorite food ever. So
Popcorn's amazing.
easy.
I'm with you on that.
But I looked into the process of getting the licensing
Mhm.
and the different inspections you have to have, the
Yep.
different legal matters of what food you can serve, what you can't serve, and what type of license you need for what. And I
Mhm.
was like, you know what? Popcorn is something that you're not cooking per se. They're non-perishable
Yeah, it
things.
doesn't go bad.
It doesn't go bad. It's something that's easy. And I was like, let's just do that. It's easy. It's an easy equipment to purchase. It's easy to replace. If you buy the right ingredients, it can be amazing. And what I loved about it mostly, and this is a true thing that was important to us, is at its base, just like the seasoning, the oil that we use, and the kernels, it's all gluten and dairy free. So at
Nice.
its
Okay.
base, it's allergy friendly, which is huge for us because I remember I was gluten free when I was pregnant, and so
Does normal popcorn have gluten in it?
no, but some oils can, or
Okay.
some
Yeah.
different, like
Yeah.
there's things that don't. So it's generally is gluten free,
Mhm.
but I know that it's hard because I don't know what's always in like popcorn packages, but we
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
buy like 30 to 50 pounds of kernels and it's
Mhm.
like by itself. So that is, just to be able to offer a snack we don't use real butter, which is huge because it's dairy and a lot of
Mhm.
people can't have it. So we
Mhm.
really tried to create something that is allergy friendly. And then the toppings obviously aren't allergy friendly, but we were like, how do we take this and then make it like 10 times better?
Yep.
And that's what we did.
Nice. I'm a big popcorn guy. Anytime, I know my parents always for Christmas, you'd buy the big thing of
The tubs.
popcorn.
Mhm.
What was it was probably just
Cheddar,
normal
caramel, and
cheddar and
normal.
caramel.
Yep.
Yep. Amazing.
I
The
mix them all
big the
together.
massive
Mhm.
the massive tin that you used to get.
Yep.
Those are great.
My father-in-law's obsessed with those. Like that's like all he wants every Christmas.
I think it's weird when people don't get popcorn at the movie theater.
Yep.
That is like I sometimes will be like I'm craving soda and popcorn, so I am gonna just go see a movie so I have an excuse to buy this
Mhm.
particular
Yep.
snack.
Yep.
It's amazing.
I just went to a movie. What the hell was it? Spy movie that was out. I think it's still in theaters. It was actually pretty good. I literally can't remember the name of it.
But it was good.
I saw no one eating popcorn or anything in the movie
They
theaters.
just sat there.
Yeah.
I'd be
I
like
usually bring in like a beer or something myself. I
Right.
just bring it in from outside.
sneak in some loot
They don't
inside.
even check. They don't care.
No.
They probably don't. No.
No.
The guy was like, you can bring in backpacks as long as they're under a certain size.
I see people bringing like chicken wings in there
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
I brought Taco Bell in for sure.
Oh, that'd be
before.
great.
Yeah, we're big Taco Bell people. So
Are you?
yes.
Yeah,
love
so
Taco
this
Bell.
drink we're drinking right now is actually
The
called
Baja Blast?
Baja-licious.
Yeah,
No,
that's
it's called Baja-licious.
Sorry.
It's our take on like a Baja Blast, and we're like, we have to have that on the menu.
It's all
I used to be
sugar-free,
a
too.
big Mountain Dew guy. Yeah, so I
really?
quit
Yeah.
soda, but I used
Okay.
to destroy soda. I loved Mountain Dew.
Sorry, we're tempting you with your.
It's
know.
fine. I'll drink some Sprite and stuff. But yeah, no, I used to drink so much Mountain Dew,
Yeah.
and then after college, I was like, I should maybe stop drinking so much soda.
I know my husband's on that journey of quitting drinking soda, and then of course, as he started that, we opened a soda company,
Mhm.
and he's like, it's just always there. I'm
Yep.
like, well, you have your own stash, and if you choose to use it, you choose to use it. You buy your Dr. Pepper, and he flies through it. So
hmm
I'm like, at least we now have, at least all the sodas have zeros and diets. Like, you
hmm
can be a little better,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
true.
nice.
That's true. Oh, I just like the sugar taste.
Yeah.
I know for a
I
fact.
know.
Like diet soda, I'm like, it's
We
not.
made yours full sugar.
Thank you.
Don't
It's
worry.
like
not.
we had to sense
It's
them
not.
up.
It's
Yeah,
not the
we knew.
same. Yeah, diet soda is not the same.
See,
But
and we're the opposite. We hate regular soda,
Mhm.
and
really,
Yeah.
it leaves like, just like
The aftertaste,
aftertaste
is
to
not,
us.
is not it.
And I just,
But
interesting.
we also offer, so we have infused waters or H2Os on our thing.
Okay.
So if you're not a soda drinker, we also have lemonades. So we do our lemonades. We have energy drinks. We're about to offer iced lattes. And then we have Fresca, LaCroix, and just still water that we infuse with different things. So
Very
we
cool.
offer non-soda options, but the bulk of our menu is
there's
soda.
something for
Sure.
everyone.
Really,
You know.
doesn't
Sure.
matter. There's somebody can find something on there.
So when you guys were planning this, you said kind of why you guys came up with the idea. What did you guys plan in order to have a good launch of your business? Because that's kind of what we said beforehand. It was you were waiting to have everything together. So what did you guys plan beforehand?
We really wanted to have options for everyone.
Mhm.
So all of our regular syrups, we wanted also sugar-free syrups. We've gone to places around St. Louis and we want to get a drink, but yet they don't have like all of their flavors and sugar-free. So we wanted that.
Mhm.
We also wanted to make sure like we tried everything and everything was
Mhm.
just
We literally
perfect.
have tasted everything on this menu.
We've had other people taste it and making
Mhm.
sure that, because if we have similar tastes, we want somebody,
Right.
we've had guys and girls perspectives too.
Right.
Mhm.
And we just really wanted to perfect like the quality. I have a background, I was a graphic designer. And so I wanted all of our marketing and our menus and our business cards and everything to just be great. Like,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
brand looks good.
thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like a passion project for me. I don't know. I just think we wanted things to align as best they could before we launched it.
We made a goal when Holly and I, so we had talked prior to doing this about business stuff. And when we met, like our friendship was very, like, it was instantaneous. Like, we
Mhm.
just got along. And we had been talking before we even decided Dirty Pop. We had talked about doing business together as
Mhm.
something
Yeah.
Yep.
leading
Yep.
up to this. And when Holly and I came up with this name and we started doing it, we both agreed that we are not the people that are like, oh, we want this food truck and it's going to be great. And that's our whole career. No, we were like, we want this to be a franchisable brand. We want
Mhm.
this, like, we see big picture. We want
Mhm.
more. Like, we are going to like strive to make this truly grow and we hope to do it quickly. So, when creating a brand and Holly coming in and doing all this graphic design, we wanted, when people first started booking us, we didn't want to be like, a menu's coming soon or,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
we don't have business cards. We wanted it to
Yeah.
just be like, this is the brand, it's franchisable, it attracts all demographics,
Mhm.
and
It's timeless.
Yeah.
We didn't want it to be cutesy or girly. We wanted it to be a brand.
Yep.
yeah, that's universal for everybody. And it
I
really
like how you
just
guys say
worked.
filthy and like everything.
I
It's
know.
Great.
it's entertaining. I
I
like it.
know.
Coming
Yeah,
from a
it's-
marketing guy, I'm like, I like the
It's
the
different.
consistency.
We call our
Like, we have our
followers
followers,
Mhm.
our
filthy
customers.
animals.
I love that.
Isn't that fun?
Home Alone.
Yes, thank you.
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, of
And
course.
it was
Like, come on.
we wanted people, it's different. Like, so we truly did our research also prior to launch, and we looked at what is everybody else doing? Like,
Mhm.
what is their brand? Like, what is the like essence of what they're doing, and how can we do something completely different? And Holly, with her graphic design and art background, she's like, these are the colors that we need. This is going to attract people. And then we were like, what is terminology that no one's doing? And
Yeah.
we're like, let's play off dirty. And I was like,
Mhm.
we can make
Mhm.
this fun, and the Stay Dirty and our Dirty Pop Nation. Like, we're using things that really are not, yes, our home, like, and eventually like the flagship, everything will be in St. Louis. However, thinking of it on a bigger scale, what is something that anybody anywhere is going to think is cool? And this was it. And so we were like, let's just go for it. And then when we did the launch and we already were kind of dropping these little eggs of like, filthy and dirty and filthy animals, and people were kind of like, what is this? Like, this
Mhm.
is
I
going to be
know.
cool. And we
Yeah.
kind of got people excited prior. And then we did our branding shoot, and literally we launched the first picture, and we've gotten maybe like almost 500 followers since like in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool just
Yeah.
to watch that immediately grow based off of the vision that we both saw.
What was important for us too, and she kind of like grounded me on this, was she's like, we have to keep this family friendly.
Mhm.
Because I was kind of taking it in a different direction. And then she's
Sure.
like, wait. She's like, if we're going to be at
Yeah.
kids' birthdays, if we're going to like, have this
Right.
franchisable, she's like the big picture person. And I'm like, I'll make it look good no matter what. But
Mhm.
she's like, okay, we gotta make it more family friendly. So
Yeah.
then from because you can do a lot of things with the word dirty,
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
and so yeah, it's fun and it can be for adults or kids. That's what I really like about this brand.
1,000%. And it could be dirty, could be, perceived so different.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And that's
it could be
why
filthy, like
it could be like
dirt,
messy,
messy.
Mhm.
or it could be a totally different thing. And so leaving that up to our customers' interpretation too, and it makes people question. Like some people will be like, there's other names of soda companies that offer dirty sodas, but people want to know what this is. When people are like,
Yeah.
what is that? Like, what does that even mean? When you start to question it and when people start talking about you, that's when you will grow. And so we left just enough in our branding that people are like, I literally, we've had people stop by and be like, I just have to know what this is. Like, what does that even
People
mean?
Yeah.
have no
Yeah.
idea what dirty sodas are either. Like
That's what I was saying.
it
Yeah.
hasn't
Yeah.
like spread across the country
No.
yet,
Mhm.
which is so cool and so crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess really the first time I heard about it was from the show, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's when I heard about it, and then I saw it on TikTok, and I was like and I kept saying, "I wanna try one, I wanna try one," and even when we were on the news yesterday, the executive producer there was so excited. We, like, finished filming, and she came over, and we made her one, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I finally got to try a diet soda. I've been watching it on TV, and I've never got to try one," and she was, like, so excited, and it's to us, because we've been making them for months,
Mhm.
we're just so exposed to it, and we forget that this is such a new concept to people. They really have no idea what it is, and they're dying to try, and we want to be the first to like offer that to
Yep.
them, which has been
and
the
honestly,
goal.
I was adding syrups to my sodas. Like I love coconut and I would put it in my like diet Sprite. I had been doing that for a while, but the term dirty soda, like that wasn't associated with that, you
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
No, for sure. Or like even so, like if you go to those, those Coke
How does it compare
freestyles.
to those, like, what's that? There's that new product out now, but it apparently doesn't work well. Some celebrities endorsing it. It's like it's like a water thing, and
Oh, the
then you can.
Soda Stream.
No, I know that doesn't. I know that's.
That's no,
I know
You're like,
that.
I know that's trash.
I know that's. My buddy had one back in the day. Unless they've gotten better, but I don't think they have.
I don't think so.
No, it's like a water bottle, and the top of it has
The
different.
scent thing. So when
Is that
you're
what it is?
drinking it, it tastes like it. Is that what
Oh,
you're
okay.
talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
so.
That
Mhm.
sounds awful.
Hmm.
I could never.
That's what I was thinking too. I was
Yeah.
like, this
No.
this seems like an odd product. I don't know about that.
No, I don't think I could
So can you
ever.
guys ever like can these? And
I
is that
mean,
something you guys have thought about?
we've thought about a lot, and we thought about a lot of things we could do, and that's we would love to. There's so much we want to do, and there's so much we're trying to like. I think the scariest part about this is protecting our ideas and our
Mhm, sure.
brand and
Yes.
Sure.
trademarking things and making sure we're really protecting this brand because we call our team popologists
I
and we
love
call
that.
it the
Yeah.
soda lab. So when you're working like behind, like you're in the back bar, you're in the trailer, you're in the soda lab, and our team are popologists. They're creating these for you. And so protecting those terms and our brand and trademarking this was really it's important because we have ideas and we have visions for this and this balance of trying to get it done and do it first, but also doing it right. And
Mhm.
so, I mean, down the
Yes.
road, we would love to do that. And it's finding the right people, the right investors. Like,
Yep.
we're open to all of those things. But right now, we can't, but we would
Sure.
love to.
Do you
Yeah.
have to have a liquor license to sell non-alcoholic beverages like
No.
mocktails?
No, no. You don't
Okay.
have to have one. And for us, we will be licensed. Like the food and health department is going to
Sure,
inspect
sure.
our trailer and we'll be licensed to work. We'll be insured. All of that will be the same. You just don't have to have a liquor license
Yeah.
because we're not. The only thing that we're doing in there that they really, honestly, at its core. You don't have to do a ton, but because we're slicing fresh fruit and we are,
Yeah.
adding toppings and those things, we will be fully licensed, insured. All the inspections will be done. I mean, it will be a fully functioning, but we don't need a liquor license because we're not selling or serving any alcohol.
Do you guys make mocktails?
I mean, we could. We kind of consider these our
Got it.
like
Yeah.
version.
Yeah, and we've also been toying with the idea of like frozen
Mm-hmm.
ones of these, which I love pina coladas. You love pina
Yeah,
coladas. That's our
for
love for
sure.
coconut comes in. But,
Yeah.
doing something like that for summer stuff and things like that, but maybe adding soda in it as well. You
And I know
know,
you can add like my husband's a ginger beer guy. He loves
Got it.
those type of things. So I know that since that's non-alc, you can add those as a base and kind of do certain things. And we have our menu, yes, but we were talking recently about doing seasonal menus with fun
Mhm.
different things. And
Yep.
so, there's a lot that we're going to be doing that we're really excited about. And so this is kind of, we actually booked a wedding. So we're a couple of them. So we're going to be serving these at weddings in lieu of alcohol. And the bride and groom are providing like beer and they'll do like grab and go beer. And
Yeah.
then people
Yeah.
can do sodas. So you kind of can still have
That's
both,
very cool.
which
Yeah.
is cool. Or you can do like a pour your own wine station and then grab and go beer. And then you come to us for everything else. So we've really been able, it's cool to have people inquire with us
Mm-hmm.
and to do these quotes because we're seeing the different needs. And I'm like, it really is so different. And we can customize anything. We do signature drinks for people and stuff. So we kind of have mocktails. We kind of consider these as their own, but we plan to do like expand on that too
Gotcha.
for events particularly.
Have you guys been looking at a specific location yet as your first official?
Yes, kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
We were talking with someone this morning. We'll be speaking with someone who owns and manages a lot of properties about
Mm-hmm.
right now. The goal is to find somewhere that's central for both of us to park it during the week and have hours of operation
Yeah.
and have people be able to know where we are X amount of days a week, X amount of hours, and come see us.
Yep.
But actually opening like a brick and mortar, high traffic area, we're really open to. I'm open to whatever. She's open to whatever.
Yeah.
It's pretty much finding. Right now, we need the investors, and
Mhm.
that's pretty much the ideas there, the concepts there.
Yep.
It's money, and as anyone knows who started a business, that's the hardest part is money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
For us at least.
Yep.
Right.
That's very true. So how much did you guys put in to get it started?
Oh,
What
gosh.
was your guys' investment?
So
Do you guys have to spend a bunch?
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say
I guess obviously on the truck itself. Yeah.
And a lot of stuff too, luckily, like it's not like we took other people. Like luckily I had the back under graphic design.
Mhm.
There's that price. Like,
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
that's amazing too.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
She's got the business, she's got the market. Like, so luckily we didn't have to look for outside sources for those things.
Right.
Like we saved so much money doing that. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like the truck stuff, the truck itself, just printing in
prior.
general.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would say overall, like it's well over 25,000.
I
would say,
mean,
for everything.
yeah.
I would
Mhm.
say,
Oh, easy. Yeah.
if not more.
Yeah.
I would
And
say.
I mean, that's just out of our own pockets.
Yeah.
So,
This is no investors at this time.
Yep.
yeah.
So it's a lot.
We can talk after. I might have someone. But
We
yeah,
love to hear that.
Yeah.
that's awesome. So there, you said that there's no other actual
No.
nowhere else in the United States
Oh, that's doing this?
that has like brick and mortar locations.
Oh, there are two companies out at like
What is
Utah.
Okay.
what is it like 5 hours, 8 hours
There's
away?
not there's not a
Yeah.
brick and mortar doing this within like a 5 to 8 hour radius of
Got it.
here.
Got it.
So there's nowhere in St. Louis, like none. I don't even think there's any in Missouri. The closest one is somewhere past Kansas. Other
Yeah.
than that, there's nothing here. So this entire state has no brick and mortar dirty soda and snack company, and we're like, we got to do it. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. Yeah, people keep saying like, I want to try. Where are you gonna be? Where are you gonna be? And we're like,
I
we're
know.
trying to move quick, but
I know. I wish we did have like a plant where we could just like plant it,
yeah.
our trailer. Because these pop-ups and stuff, they're just a couple hours.
Correct.
People want to be able to get these sodas whenever.
Mhm.
we want to drive through. Like we need a drive
Yeah.
through. That was also the non-negotiable when we built this
Yes.
ground up. We're like, we have
Have
to
to have
have
a
a drive
drive-through.
through. It's a non-negotiable.
We both have
Yeah.
kids. Getting your kids in and out of a car seat just to go grab a
It's
soda.
hell.
Oh yeah.
But we
It's
want to
hell.
go grab a soda.
So you go through McDonald's and your kids are like, I want fries,
I
I want ice
know.
cream, and you're like, no, like we just had lunch. Like
Give
that's
me the
terrible
M&M
for you.
McFlurry right
Exactly.
now.
No.
Yeah.
So we're like, we need popcorn, and we actually have
Mhm.
exclusive kids drinks too, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like they're on here. You can kind of get
It's called
a little
Little
bit.
Sips.
Yeah, they're like these little pouches. So they are our own version of like Capri Suns. So we make them sugar-free. They're little shark ones. They're really kid-centric. It's pretty fun, and our kids love them. We actually, when we did our tasting, our kids were there, and her son started drinking it, and we had to like pry it out of his,
Yeah, he
his
said
hands.
good.
And
So
my
you
son is
guys
delicious.
make these pouches?
No, we order them in bulk.
Okay,
But we
okay.
label them, pick the straws, and we fill them. Like we
Gotcha.
make all the ingredients
I
in
used
them.
to have so many Capri Suns as a child.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
They're delicious.
Like I know my parents' basement was like a place we used to hang out in, like, I guess elementary and middle school. Always had a drawer full of Capri Suns
Oh my
at
gosh.
all times.
Yeah, they're delicious. Everyone loves them, and my kids like them now, and we're like, how can we still have it? And I think when you're a mom,
It's also fun to punch the top.
exactly.
It's just fun.
I
And
never
these
And
thought
then
they
when
were
you can't punch it in, that's the worst.
Or when you stick it all the way through and it
Yeah.
starts like spilling everywhere
Break
in
the
the
back.
car with your 4-year-old, you're like, God help me. Like, I can't. The straw cannot bust through. They're clear. We even put peach rings, gummy sharks, like,
Nice.
so you can see through them. It's so fun. And we wanted something for our kids. So that
Yep.
way we were going through a drive through and mom is getting a soda and your kids are like,
Right.
I want. You can be like, oh my God, here's a pouch. Like,
Yeah.
be happy. And then
Yeah.
you can go on. So, yeah.
Does Starbucks have any kids drinks?
That's the thing that I said. I said, no, and you have to determine like what on there has caffeine on their
Yeah.
Starbucks menu.
Yeah.
And so, I always have to ask them, whereas this, it's like easy.
I've
mean-
seen parents give their kids caffeine before.
Sure. I'm sure that.
I'm
That's
sure
crazy.
It's so my oldest son has autism
Mhm.
and he's very high functioning, but caffeine is not a good idea for my child. And
Yeah.
It's
so
not a good idea for any toddler.
anybody,
Yeah.
I mean, really, we survive off of it, but we needed. You can't, or some people do frappuccinos and they're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right,
there's
exactly.
80 milligrams of caffeine. So if your kid's not sleeping tonight, no, that's why.
They're just
Yep.
uneducated that actually has
Exactly.
caffeine in it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Or if you go through McDonald's, your options are milk and juice boxes, and the juice boxes have like 4 ounces of juice. So you give it to your kid, and you're like, they're gonna be happy. 30 seconds later, I want another one, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God. Or ours are 16 ounces, which is nice.
Mhm.
But the milk is just an open container, and
Yeah.
I've had my kids just dump it, and I'm like, we need options. Moms need options, and so that's tried. We kind of filled that gap too.
When I was a kid, I would have been like, absolutely not. I don't want a espresso or coffee. I would have been like, hell no. But also, I guess, I mean,
But they present
could-
it like shakes.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the
That's
thing. Is like
part
the
of it.
ice caramel
And it
and
does.
all
It
that
tastes.
stuff. Yeah,
I mean, those don't taste
The vanilla
necessarily
bean.
yeah,
like
that's true.
coffee.
That's true.
Some of them, I mean, they look like, that's why.
Looks like a damn ice cream almost.
I
Exactly.
know.
Yeah.
And also what people don't realize too, well, we can make ours sugar-free, but like the Starbucks drinks, if you don't get them, which they don't, that is one thing they don't offer. They have like one sugar-free option. I think it's just like vanilla and maybe mocha, but they have no sugar-free.
No options.
And those have like 50 to 80 milligrams of, or 50 to 80 grams of sugar in it.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yep.
That's an astronomical amount of sugar.
I'm with you.
I
I
could
don't go to Starbucks or anything. I got an espresso machine at my house.
That's
I got an old school one
I love that.
from like the 80s or 90s. My parents had it brand new, just sitting in the basement. And I found it like 6 years ago. And I was like, you guys going to ever open this? They're like, no. And I'm like, I'm going to take it.
You're like mine.
Yeah.
I'll
Mhm.
try
So
this
it's
bad boy
literally an
out.
old school one, like all metal still. It works very well. I'm like, this is great.
That's why they say they don't make them like they used to.
They really
Mhm.
don't.
They
That
don't.
thing's
That's
that thing's
awesome.
amazing every time. Except there's no like cutoff. So literally, I have to turn it on and then turn it off. Otherwise, it'll just keep.
It'll just keep pumping.
It'll just
out.
keep
Oh
going.
my gosh.
It's
For
definitely a
us-
fire hazard, a
Yeah,
little bit.
sounds
But
like
Maybe
as long
that's
as-
why they
as-
don't make them like they
Yeah,
used to.
as long as I'm paying attention, just
That is
don't
so
don't
funny.
make it and walk away. You got to stay there. But yeah, it's paying for coffee every day. It gets expensive.
yeah.
It's expensive. It's very expensive.
Hey there, St. Louis podcast listeners. We've got some exciting news from our friends over at Farmers Insurance of St. Louis, led by the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Lee of Farmers Insurance.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for a job or to own your own business under a brand that everyone and their cousin is familiar with, Mark Lee with Farmers Insurance of St. Louis is recruiting insurance agency owners here in St. Louis for their Farmers Insurance Mentorship Program.
And as many of you are aware, Garrett and I have owned quite a few successful and award-winning businesses over the years. And in a past life, one of those was a farmers insurance agency out of Chesterfield, Missouri.
Eric and I know firsthand how hard it is to start a business under a brand that no one has heard of and convince consumers and businesses to trust that you're an authority figure in your industry.
And as many of you know, we own an award-winning marketing firm, Vi Media, the one that Garrett was just discussing. And building that company's reputation literally took years. We're still building it to this day, and it's been 8 years in the making. However, with the Trusted Farmers Insurance Agency name on the building, we got started when we started our Farmers Insurance Agency. The trust was already built and has been for 96 years.
And if you can't do math, that means Farmers Insurance has been around since 1928. Luckily, you don't need to be a human calculator to get rich as an owner of your very own Farmers Insurance Agency.
Nope. All you have to do is reach out to the one and only Mark Lee, the leader of Farmers Insurance in the greater St. Louis metropolitan area.
That's right. So ensure he continues to sponsor our show and your favorite podcast, the St. Louis Podcast, by quitting your job today and calling Mark Lee. I wouldn't even wait for him to answer your call. Call your boss now, quit, and become your very own business owner.
Visit insurancecareerstl.com. That is insurancecareerstl.com. Should we spell it out?
Yes. It would
INSURANCE, career, CAREER, STL.com, insurancecareerstl.com. Go there now. Back to the podcast.
And wait, insurancecareerstl.com.
Back to the podcast. So you got the food truck, or you're about to have the food truck, or I guess dirty soda truck, let's call it that. The filthy truck.
Filthy truck.
Yeah, that's right. So are you guys working on any other flavors right now? Any other food?
Yes, we actually are about to do a tasting with some other people. We're adding iced lattes to our menu, which is new. That was something that we also have a couple recipes that we've been recently chatting about involving kind of colliding worlds of this menu. That's what I'll hint at. And it's something that nobody has ever done.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's under lock and key right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one is exciting. So we're going to be doing that. And that one, literally, we don't know of a single place in the U.S. that offers what we're going to try to do. So that's really cool. But yeah, we're going to offer iced lattes, and we're actually exploring the idea of pressing it all ourselves, getting coffee beans, pressing it, and we want to put we're putting our heart and soul into these products. We want it to be perfect.
Quality was huge, and I'm very picky with my coffee.
She's insanely picky.
There's only 3 places in St. Louis I'll get coffee from.
All right, name them. Which ones?
Caldi's.
Okay.
This place called Ucraft.
I've been to Ucraft.
Okay.
That's Town and Country, right?
Yep.
It is very good.
Yeah.
They have Park Avenue beans.
Okay.
And then this place called The Grounds. It just opened up in Baldwin. So
Does Park Avenue still have locations?
I don't know.
I used to live downtown right next to the one that was right there in Washington. And I walk there every day.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
The consistency is what's really key with those places that I just mentioned. And it actually tastes like coffee. It doesn't taste like tea. It doesn't taste like water.
It's like coffee and water mixed together, which a lot of places it tastes like that.
Yeah. And I noticed Starbucks is not consistent. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it tastes like trash.
Or every location it tastes different.
Yeah.
I hate that.
It's not even mixed the same.
No.
Yeah.
I used to get shaken espressos, and it'd be different every time.
Exactly.
The colors are even different. You can hold them. I went to a place, and I won't name drop, and I got 2 of the same drink, and I held them up. They don't look like the same drink. And I was like, what? I'm like, well, I'm taking the better one. I gave my husband the other one that looked
that's what we noticed too. That was important when we were making our menu and our recipes is consistency. And when we train people to work for this company, we're going to preach that.
And we are going to start hiring soon to help us with events and things. And when Holly and I were doing this, we also the way that we wrote everything down, the way that we're structuring it is we're creating a training program that's also, if it's a franchisable brand, that it can be given to any location anywhere across the U.S. It's easy to understand. So as we're doing this, we're creating a training program. We're really thinking 10 steps ahead to alleviate pressure and panic and work down the road. And so she's creating the recipe book. And when we got down to it, we literally, when we say that we want consistency, this drink right here, we will make it with X amount of pumps of this, X amount of pumps of this, X amount of pumps, and we will have people taste it with all different pumps and say what tastes the best, and then
Mhm.
we make sure, okay, this 3 pumps was what we needed. That's how it tastes the best. So when we
Mhm.
put it in the recipe book, that's how many pumps it needs. So like it wasn't just like, oh, let's slap some of this in here. Like we really were counting. We're making sure that every ounce is accounted for and it's done right, and that was really important to us.
I wonder if there's like a machine that can do the because I feel like
Yeah.
a pump sometimes could be different depending on how much is in there. You're at the end of it. I don't know.
Thankfully, we bought the same pumps for
Okay.
all of our
Mhm.
syrups. So
Okay.
we
Got it.
we
Got it.
bought the pumps in bulk. So every pump, and we actually
Mhm.
did get out a measuring cup and we measured ounces to pumps
That's what I
to
was.
make
That's what
sure
I
it
was
was
saying. Yeah.
So we
consistent.
have
Yeah.
measured that.
So
Got it.
we know what a pump equates to in ounces, and we did make sure we bought the exact same one for. I mean,
Okay.
we have a lot of syrups, and everyone has the same pump.
I know. If we were really like, I almost wanted to get a food scale and like make all of our drinks on a food scale, so
Mhm.
we could like really make sure. But
And
that
then
would
I'm like,
be.
scalability, productivity,
I
that
know,
could
and I'm
never
like,
happen.
dang.
Yeah.
I'm like, we
Yeah.
need to be able to we need people to know it's all the same pump. So whichever syrup it is, we know it's spitting out the same amount, and we can do it really fast because we've realized when we have people flooding in, like
Yeah.
we did an event on a week or two ago, and we had about 22 people ready to be served immediately, and
Yeah.
we know how fast we have to move.
Yeah.
And so that's why also when we created this and we're memorizing our menu and the recipes, it was really important to us to be like, this has to be consistent. When you're
Mhm.
moving
Mhm.
fast, that's important.
I think that's the biggest thing people complain about when it comes to anything food related.
Yeah.
Is literally the consistency. It's like I used to go to this
100%.
restaurant. Now I don't. It's like why? Well, it's not consistent.
Yep.
Used to be good. It's no good. It's not good anymore.
Well, you told me even like a local coffee chain, you're like, oh, this drink is so good. And I was like, I didn't have that experience. And then she went back again and she's like,
Different.
okay, it's not
terrible.
good.
I
Yeah.
was so upset. I was like, well, I loved it the one time I got it, but don't worry, I loved it so much. We're adding it to our menu, and we're gonna make it, and we're gonna make it right
There we
because
go.
I loved it, and I was like, we can do this. Like
Yeah.
and we are so diligent in creating these that I was like, it's not gonna be a problem. We're not gonna have like sloppy or inconsistent making of our drinks because we can't. Me and Holly, we would never like we just have a very high standard for what we're
Mhm.
doing, like very, very high standards. That
Sure.
was important.
So you before this, you guys already kind of ran your own business, right? By doing
Yeah.
so you did hair and makeup for weddings.
Mhm.
So what have you learned through this process of opening the new business that you didn't know beforehand?
I'll say one thing, the opposite almost what we learned doing this business that we, already prior had knowledge of is like just that
Mhm.
the customer service. I think with dealing with brides, like we really have to have good customer service. We have to have good communication.
Yep.
And I think that really helped us in this business, in the Dirty Pop business.
Yeah, I would say we haven't. We've just people have been so supportive. I think that was kind of a shock to
It
us
was.
too. Not that we didn't. We believed in it, and
Yeah.
we knew that this was gonna.
But more so in this business than any of our other businesses. Like people are very supportive.
They're
of
very
this.
excited, and that
Mhm.
makes us excited,
Yeah.
and it motivates us. And like the amount of people that come up to you and are like, "Hey, you guys, we had a lady we did an event, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Are you the Dirty Pop
Yeah.
girls?" And she's
Mhm.
like, "I
I
follow
follow
you,"
you.
and we're like, "Oh, that's so sweet." And kind of like we knew what we were doing when we went into it, but we didn't know the immediate reach it would have.
Mhm.
And I'm not gonna lie, in Kendall Photography, our friend Sammy did our pictures and killed it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they look good.
the
Thank
way
you.
that we did it, it was so I don't know. It was just so cool that people were like, this is so different. You look at our feed and it looks professional. It looks like a brand. I mean, it looks,
Did
It's
you
a
guys,
little
did you guys go
futuristic.
somewhere for that?
yeah, we
Mhm.
rented space. It's
Okay.
called So Ill. It's a studio in Illinois that we
Okay.
rented, and they were fantastic too. They were amazing. Shout out them and shout out in Kendall Photography. But she did product photography. That was like her first time doing that, and she just killed it. And
She's a creative
she's-
though.
Mhm.
Like
She
I
is
knew
a
she would.
genius.
I knew if we gave her this, like she's a perfectionist, she's a creative. She's got her brain is just a creative brain. She's
Yeah.
got all these ideas and I mean our collaboration together is just fire.
yeah,
If
she
you're a
it was amazing.
photographer, you have to.
Yeah.
We've
good
worked
ones
on
too. Yeah.
we've worked with so many different and even videographers. It's like you guys are the creatives
Oh, 1,000%.
for this. It's like if you guys can't see it, I mean that's your own problem.
Oh yeah.
The- My profile picture on social media that I should change because it's been up forever, but that was just shit. I should Mike. I met him at a Cardinals game, and he's like, it'd be a really dope photos if you went and stood over there. I'm gonna be down at the end of the bar and like take the shot. And then it looked amazing. But it's not
Yeah.
like I asked for it. He saw
Right.
it and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to go over there and get this photo."
That was
They have a
very
different vision. Yeah, they just see things
Yeah.
differently.
She goes, "Are you?" We had a jar of maraschino cherries, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden she goes, "Are you guys gonna use these?" And we were like, "Anything in this room you have access to."
Yeah.
And we see her dumping out these cherries. There's juice
I feel like I would have
everywhere.
never,
And she's like putting them on the floor. She's
Nice.
like drizzling our
drizzling
chocolate
syrups.
everywhere.
I would have never thought, just because also
Yeah.
I'd be like, I have to clean that up. But
Yep.
she's like, I don't care. It's going to look good for the photo. And I'm
Yeah.
like, sweet.
Bless her heart. She's sweating, laying on the floor.
Yeah.
There's syrup everywhere. We actually, what she's about to give us, she's giving us more pictures soon. We played into the word dirty
Mm-hmm.
in a messy
Messy.
messy way
Mm-hmm.
in these pictures, and they're really cool, and we're really like playing on that. But she killed it. Like, she's amazing, and I think that she also was very sweet and came to us and was like, I believe in this, so I want to be a part of it from the beginning. And that's what's been crazy is we had a lot of photographers reach out to us, and they're like, this is new, no one's doing this, I want in on this. And
Mhm.
that kind of shocked us too.
Yeah.
The amount of
Yeah.
people reaching out. I actually had a videographer reach out, we had a calligrapher
I'm
reach
so
out.
jealous.
It was weird. It was cool though.
I feel like everyone hated us when we started our
Oh my
business.
God.
We got like no positive feedback.
But what was marketing, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were all 23, so that was
That's
probably part
probably
of the
part of it.
reason. Yeah.
I mean,
Everyone
us,
was like,
We
"What are you
also
guys
just
doing?"
had so many connections too with the wedding industry.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
we have that base.
No, if I started a business now, everyone would be like, "Yeah,
they'd
awesome."
be like, we're on
Yeah.
board.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
also have two
back then,
women,
they're like,
two
"No."
moms
Mm-hmm.
that have a lot of good relationships in St. Louis,
Mhm.
that have formed good reputations for ourselves and that have good energy. And when
Yeah.
you have that like maturity and the drive,
Yep.
And we just
yeah.
believe in ourselves so much. Like we don't fail. Like there's no failure. Like we don't,
we're not failing.
we
Like,
don't do it.
we will franchise this.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this is happening. Like it's just a matter of who
We are
and when's
not
going to do it
quitting.
with us,
Yeah,
basically. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's no quit here.
So how many struggles have you guys been through? Like hard ones, would you say? Issues, problems that you can actually like count.
Money is probably the big
Money
one.
is
Sure,
huge. Like, I mean,
sure,
that's holding us back from a whole lot.
Mhm.
Yeah, if we had $100,000,
Right,
you would see
sure.
us popping up everywhere. Like it wouldn't be a big thing. But yeah, money.
I
and-
think internal too, struggles that I've had at least was just fear, but
Mhm.
everything good comes on the other side of fear. Like I've seen that through and through in my life. But Bailey, I think just I don't want to fail for her, and I think
Yeah.
she holds me accountable for that, and it's
same.
an
for me.
amazing. And I
Yeah.
think I'm the same for, we don't want to fail for each other.
Yep.
And I think being in business with somebody else is huge. I couldn't do this by myself.
That's what I was gonna say. You guys think you do it by yourself?
Never.
Hell
Yeah.
no.
I
Yep.
think so.
I'm always solo entrepreneurs. I'm always very like
I know.
It's scary.
it's tough. Someone's taken some sort of abuse if it's your partner or one of your friends bitching about business.
But I
'cause-
don't think I could also do this with anyone else
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a specific person, and it was almost fate how we met. There was like signs that we should have met. Like I had a friend that was like, "Oh, I have this friend. I think you guys would hit it off." Okay, cool. We
Yeah.
never met.
Yep.
Then
Yeah.
she reached out to me for her wedding hair and makeup.
Yeah.
I wasn't available, so we didn't meet.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was like the universe was trying to connect us somehow.
For
And
years, actually.
years.
Yeah.
And eventually we did meet. And
we
then
met at a wedding. You were doing the girl's makeup.
Yep.
I did her.
I
we
remember
literally
that.
we stood there after the wedding was done in this girl's house
Yeah.
talking for like 45
Yeah.
minutes. And I was like,
Yeah.
we'd exchanged numbers and truly have been friends ever since.
Yeah.
Our kids are friends.
It's been what, 4 or 5 years since that?
And
Yeah.
it was really cool.
Yeah.
So how many conversations did you guys have about starting a business before you started?
It
Before
was-
you even started planning.
Yeah, it was
A
always
lot.
me
A
too,
lot, yeah.
wanting to like, she was doing
how it
businesses
usually
by
is.
herself, and she's like, I'm just overwhelmed. And I was like, let me come on with you. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Let me
Yeah.
let me
But
get
you nurtured that. You're like, it's your baby. Like I kept saying, no, I need you. Like
right.
my husband is and he's a baseball coach. He's a teacher. He's in his own world. Like, I'm
Mhm.
sorry, like he's not helping. Like,
Yep.
and of course we started this, and he like now chimes in. But I was like, I need you. You're a graphic designer. You motivate me. We motivate each other. We have been each other's rock in our other hair and makeup world.
Mhm.
So bringing that same energy and consistency of like drive into this was like
Mhm.
really crucial to us being
Yeah.
successful, I'd say.
Yeah. And I said I want to start fresh. I don't want to do anything, with I want to rebrand.
Not
I
mine
want
that
to
she joins, not hers that I joined.
exactly
This
because we
together.
both
Yep.
want the joint, like this is 50-50,
Mhm.
truly.
And I had heard before, a year or so ago, that this guy was on a podcast. It was one I was listening to, and he said that he was starting a business. He wanted to bring on a partner, and he had a choice. He's like, I can either make 100% of $100,000 or 50% of $10 million. What do you want to do?
Correct.
And it was like we had to do this together, and it was really important. And I can see, like, as we're watching this grow, we can see that so clearly, like what we've each brought into it and how we've seen that, like we've really nurtured this. And from the beginning, we had a lot of ideas, like we were possibly going to rent like a commercial space.
Mhm.
And I think this was probably the moment that I realized that I felt responsible for her and her family, and she felt responsible for me and my family. Was we talked to someone, a commercial realtor, property manager, and they were like, "Yeah, you can rent. We have a space. Like it's all yours if you want it,
Mm-hmm.
but you both have to sign it. You're personally insuring
Yep.
this lease for 5 years,
Yeah.
and if
5-year
something
lease is
happens,
insane.
we
Yeah.
can sue you. We'll
Mhm.
come after your houses and your
Mhm.
cars." And I was like, "No, she's married. She has a kid. Like she's a husband. Like that. I don't want anything to happen to her. But
Yep.
I believe in this." And she
Right.
thought the same. She's like, "You have
Mhm.
3 kids. Like we can't risk that." But we believed in it, so we're like, you know what? We're not going to sign a 3-year lease at this or 5-year lease at this time. We're just going to buy a food truck,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
we're going to own it, and we're going to prove our worth to whoever wants to invest in us, and we're going to show them this is what it takes, and
Yeah.
we're going to go into it like that. So just really, when you feel protectiveness of your business partner and their family because you love them, I think that also it drives you too, because you want success not just for you but for your partner's
Yep.
families too.
I think people forget that or don't even pay attention to the fact that when you're like starting a business and doing these things, a lot of it is based on you as the owner. And if things don't go right, even a lot of credit cards for businesses and things like that are tied to
Exactly.
Yep.
your personal account.
Yep.
So you're not only putting in your time and your own money, but if you get a loan and things potentially don't go your way, you might get stuck for the bill on that, depending on
Yeah.
how things are set up.
Yeah, high risk, high reward, but yeah,
Yep.
you're signed. Like we're in this, like, and that was a big deal. Like and it's true, people don't realize that. I think some people who've never been in business before don't realize, like, if you do that, like you could potentially, it's sink or swim, but like if you fail, you could be jeopardizing your entire family. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, there is so much risk with starting a business. It's especially something like this.
You're going all in.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people don't do it though.
Yeah.
It is,
And we did jump with
scary.
both feet in,
Mhm.
and
We
this
did.
is scary. And I think what was scarier is that it's, yeah, we're not on a lease, but we just own this thing now. And so I think that was also part of it. And we're like, we will succeed, and that's where
Yeah.
it was just a non-negotiable. And so it's scary and it's expensive and it's risky, but like
But it's worth it.
we
Mhm.
100% think it's worth it, and we have zero doubts that we'll succeed doing it.
I love
which
to
is,
hear that.
I think, important. Yeah.
So I was having this conversation last week about how there's a lot of social media presence about everyone should be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I came on last week and said, not everyone can be an entrepreneur. And then
Mhm.
I watched a video yesterday. This Simon Squibb guy that you might have seen him, he goes around and just asks people what their dreams are
Yep.
on the
Yeah.
street.
Yep.
And then a lot of the time tries to get them like their first job. And he was talking about how like a normal job is 9 to 5, you go there. A lot of people aren't, they don't get any gratitude from going to that, like at any sort of intrinsic value of going to those jobs.
Yep.
And the only way to do so is by becoming an entrepreneur. And I still was like, yes, okay, that makes sense. But I'm like, it's hard for me to see that every person can be an entrepreneur because I feel like a lot of people don't want to take the risk.
Exactly.
Yeah, 1,000%. I agree with that.
Yep.
I feel like We just watched a video this morning, the one I sent you, and this girl was like, she was hyping us up. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this video every morning, and she
Mhm.
was like, when God gives you the idea and the vision, like it's there, like it's your choice to jump, like He will provide, like you gotta figure, like it's just this. It was so motivating, and I was like, you have to take that, and you really have to jump on it. And I think for us, like we did this, and I was like, if other people are getting the same idea,
Mhm.
and they are following us, and
Yep.
they are starting to do, a similar service,
But they're
and
not us.
but
You know
they're
what I
not
mean?
us.
Yep.
And that was our big thing. We're like, they
Mhm.
can do, anybody can do, and maybe we're very confident in this because we believe in it. But we're like, that's fine. Any of these people can follow us. Any of these people can make a dirty soda. That's
Mhm.
fine. But you are not Dirty Pop. You're not us,
Yep.
and you're not gonna do it how we do it. And
Yeah.
I think when we go into it with that attitude,
Yep.
and we also were like, it's non-negotiable. We're getting this. We're spending the money on business cards. We're spending the money on high quality stickers. We are
Mhm.
printing these right. And when you like do it with
Makes a
like,
big
it
difference to
makes
going
a
to
huge
Vistaprint and getting
difference.
those 1,000 business cards for five
1000%.
$5, and they're like,
No.
you can just fold them real quick and throw them away.
And that's also something where with her, like her and I, we were like, she goes, I'm a graphic designer.
I fought her on it.
I
It's not that
hard.
much more money to get nice business cards,
No, like
I-
these
people.
are
I
like
fucking
textured and
oh.
like square with the rounded corners,
corners.
and they have this like finish on them, and it was really important. But not one person, everyone gets our business cards, and they're like, okay, this is different. Like this is cool.
Now the question is, can this fit in my wallet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should. Test it out.
Oh, you have one of those. You don't have like a normal wallet.
What is that?
It's just a really skinny wallet.
So this is more of a you need a bigger wallet.
Yeah.
No,
this
I
is
don't
more of a
like-
you
card.
No, I
problem.
don't like big wallets. No, I don't like big wallets. I don't
Then
need
you
to
just
carry
have to
that
carry it
much
in your
stuff.
pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it was important, and we literally did not compromise on the quality of anything we've done, down to cups and stickers and menus and business cards and
Spoons and
Spoons.
Mhm.
straws.
like we've literally ordered multitude and been like, nope, these could crack. We're getting better. Like
Yep.
the spoons feel flimsy. We're getting better.
Yep.
And like the red is not our brand. We're getting different ones. And
Mhm.
I think when you put that much thought and care into your brand, that's when it succeeds. Like we're not doing this cheap. We're not like,
Even how we're
You
dressed
can-
today.
yeah. You
Yeah.
can tell when people are half-assing it.
Yes.
and that's,
Absolutely.
Or when they're
Yeah.
doing something that's just trendy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, no.
hmm
I know.
Just trying to take advantage. Yeah.
yeah, and it's not gonna last. It's not timeless. You know.
No. Yeah, that's for sure.
So before we get out of here,
Mhm.
tell the people where they can find you, where they can reach out to you. Oh, also, I wanted to ask, when
Yeah.
are you guys launching your site?
It's a great question. We actually are this is something that we aren't going to do ourselves. We are like, we are very good at some things. This is one that it was not going to be something that we could do. So that's actually in the works. We're
Got it.
hoping, I mean, I don't know. Do we have a timeline? I would say by time the trailer's up, our website will be up.
What's hard too is, we're getting clientele without doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, I think, what's like not as motivating for us because people
know.
are still coming to us.
Mm-hmm.
But we do know that it needs to be done.
Obviously, we need, yes.
And we actually, like, our booking system will be simpler. So it is something we're going to do. But right now, and it's also, we're not jeopardizing the quality of it either. Like,
Sure.
if it's done, it's going to be done right.
Yep.
And so we will.
Well, it needs to follow the brand you guys have built.
Yeah,
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah. It's going to be done by a developer, that
And
knows what they're doing.
We're also still
Mhm.
getting our branding pictures back. We wanted to have like more product photography. So we're actually scheduling another product photography shoot. And we're going to be getting more pictures back from our original branding shoot. We actually have a web designer in mind for this project. And we've been talking about what it needs, what we want. And like, she's such a visionary when it comes to that part of it. So I think that this is something we would hope around the time, I would say, the trailer's up or thereafter,
yeah.
it
Mhm.
will be up. But right now, people can find us on Instagram, Dirty Pop Nation, on Facebook, just Dirty Pop. We do have our email on those. You can find us. And we're going to be starting a TikTok here soon. So you'll be
Mhm.
able to find us on TikTok as well.
They still pushing that back on
The TikTok?
banning it?
No, they tried. And then it was like,
I think
Oh,
they
it's
keep
banned.
pushing it, right? They just keep pushing the date.
I don't know. They did ban it. It went like
Yeah.
dead for like
Uh-huh.
24
Yeah,
hours.
yeah.
And then they were like,
But
they're
they
like,
extended
they-
the time. I think they just keep extending the timeline that they had. So
probably. for now, we're gonna ride that because we're gonna build.
Well,
I think it was all like a marketing thing
I do
too.
too, and they
As
do.
long
I
as
do.
TikTok is on, you might as well post.
Might as
Exactly.
well. Might as well.
Yeah.
We're already making the reels on Instagram. Let's just spin them over to TikTok.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can post the same thing,
Exactly.
the exact
1000%.
same thing.
Yeah.
1000%. Yeah, might as well.
I can't use TikTok. I feel like running through reels on Instagram is already bad enough, and then I
I
get on
know.
TikTok, I'm like, I think my brain is mush.
No, yeah.
Like
It-
literally.
You really have to limit yourself.
And you get caught in this like watching of all these things and
Your
it's
your
time suck.
algorithm, like if you watch one, I remember I was pregnant and I deleted the app off my phone because it showed me one video of a very sick child and I spiraled. And my husband's
Really?
like, delete the app because I would sit there crying and I was
Oh
like,
my
I
God.
couldn't stop watching it. And so
The
I'm like,
you got the sick children
Yeah, you're
I
just like
algorithm?
depressed.
so then
Oh
I'm
my
like having
God.
anxiety, pacing the house at night, like making sure my kids are breathing. And I was like, I can't. So you do have to be careful and limit
Yeah.
yourself with TikTok. But there is such a crazy side of it that is so successful and businesses thrive from
Mhm.
like
We've
going
seen-
viral.
yeah.
And so we're like,
100%.
might as well,
we got to.
we're gonna, get into it and see what it does for us. And then if they take it away, they take it away.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, we have I think one reel that went like big on TikTok with like 5 million views.
What was it?
And it was us just talking about how Helen Keller, or no, apparently she flew a plane, but she was blind and couldn't talk.
Did
So
she have a co-pilot, I would hope.
well, they said she
would
flew, she
hope.
landed, she did it all.
Oh my god.
So we were like, how does that make any sense?
How did that happen?
Exactly.
I'm gonna need to see the receipts for that.
I swear to God. I
swear
That's-
to-
I'm
we
just
put-
kidding.
Do they have a
That's-
video?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where's
no,
the proof to this?
Right.
So we literally talked about that and how we were all, there was like 3 of us being like, this doesn't make any sense.
I could see people finding that
And
interesting.
then it just
It can
went,
for
it went
sure.
viral. Everyone was like, what? Or people were like, you're ableist. That was the other thing.
People have an opinion.
Also, I would just
I
like
get
to
hate on
point.
TikTok.
He finished his
You did
drink.
finish
I
your
was going to
drink.
say, shout out, what flavor is this? The
That's,
peach?
That's the Southern Belle.
Southern
So
Belle.
it's peach vanilla.
Yeah, it's peach vanilla, has peach rings. It's an easy drink. So these are dirty sodas, but like to make them extra dirty is when you put cream into them.
Mm-hmm.
And that adds it's a little bit thicker. It adds a little bit of a sweetness to it. But this particular recipe we made for you, and then our Bajalicious ones, and then the Fizz and Chill, like we don't add cream to those.
These are a
by
little more
itself.
refreshing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The ones where you add creams are a little bit more like dessert.
They're
Sure.
like more of a treat and
Mhm.
less of like what you would drink on a daily basis. But
Cool.
yeah, you drank it. We love
That's
that.
right.
We love to see it.
It was great. Well, thank you for joining
Oh my
us.
gosh, thanks
Thanks
you
for having us.
Absolutely. It was great. As always, that's another episode of the St. Louis podcast. Please tune in next week for another episode. And as always, like, review, subscribe, leave a comment. Show our guests some love. Go to Dirty Pop Nation. And of course, as always, Half Coast Studios. If you guys need a podcast here in St. Louis recorded, if you just need help editing and distributing it, they can take care of you at halfcoaststudios.com. And as always, the best marketing company on the planet, Vi.media. Reach out to us at Vi.media. Thank you and see you all next week. Bye.
Hey there, St. Louis podcast listeners. We've got some exciting news from our friends over at Farmers Insurance of St. Louis, led by the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Lee of Farmers Insurance.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for a job or to own your own business under a brand that everyone and their cousin is familiar with, Mark Lee with Farmers Insurance of St. Louis is recruiting insurance agency owners here in St. Louis for their Farmers Insurance Mentorship Program.
And as many of you are aware, Garrett and I have owned quite a few successful and award-winning businesses over the years. And in a past life, one of those was a farmers insurance agency out of Chesterfield, Missouri.
Eric and I know firsthand how hard it is to start a business under a brand that no one has heard of and convince consumers and businesses to trust that you're an authority figure in your industry.
And as many of you know, we own an award-winning marketing firm, Vi.media, the one that Garrett was just discussing. And building that company's reputation literally took years. We're still building it to this day, and it's been 8 years in the making. However, with the Trusted Farmers Insurance Agency name on the building, we got started when we started our Farmers Insurance Agency. The trust was already built and has been for 96 years.
And if you can't do math, that means Farmers Insurance has been around since 1928. Luckily, you don't need to be a human calculator to get rich as an owner of your very own Farmers Insurance Agency.
Nope. All you have to do is reach out to the one and only Mark Lee the leader of Farmers Insurance in the greater St. Louis metropolitan area.
That's right. So ensure he continues to sponsor our show and your favorite podcast, the St. Louis Podcast, by quitting your job today and calling Mark Lee. I wouldn't even wait for him to answer your call. Call your boss now, quit, and become your very own business owner.
Visit insurancecareerstl.com. That is insurancecareerstl.com. Should we spell it out?
Yes. It would
INSURANCE. Career, CAREER, STL.com. Insurancecareerstl.com. Go there now. Back to the podcast.
And wait, insurancecareerstl.com.
Back to the podcast.